Hello, writers, and welcome back to Spooky Writes, your channel all about writing. I'm your host, who is secretly a ghost, Kamal Onor. Now, today I want to talk about a movie that I recently saw, so it's going to be a little different than the normal videos that I do on this channel. I'm going to be talking about a movie that I went and saw with some friends, and that movie is Argylle. So let's head into the storm.
It's the raven's call, the werewolf's howl, the vampire's bite. You search through the woods for safety, but all you find is... Okay, rights.
I first remember seeing a commercial for Argylle, and I was honestly intrigued because a story about a writer writing spy novels and something happens. It was a very long time ago that I remember seeing it, but I remember being intrigued because any movie that has a writer in it, I'm always intrigued about watching a movie that has an author in it or that focuses on a writer in some capacity. But what I quickly realized was that this movie, like all the other movies that have been made about authors, has everything completely wrong. And what I mean about that, and what I mean by what they had wrong was the way that they represent an author in the movie is unbelievable. None of it is actually grounded in reality. I personally believe Hollywood has no idea what fiction writers go through and what that process is like, because it's just so rose-colored glasses. It's what so many people believe is what the life of an author is. They believe it's you wake up in your mansion by the lake and you do yoga for 10 minutes every single morning, and you're full of inspiration. You can publish I believe the woman published 5 books in 4 years, and that's just a very quick timeline. For most novels take a very long time from start to finish. And so I had a lot of things that I didn't like in the movie, and there were several times throughout it when I would just go because there were scenes that were interspersed with what was actually happening with that of the writing of this fictional author, and so much of it was hackneyed, so much of it was cliche line after cliche line. 2 spies just about to kiss, and the line was, "I'll show you fireworks." I'm like, whose bad fan fiction is this author writing? And again, the reason why I'm so upset about it is the fact that this is what most people will go and see this movie and they'll say, "Oh yeah, that makes sense. Authors make millions of dollars off of their writing. They publish 4 or 5 books in the span of 4 years. That makes total sense to me," because most people don't have that much of an in-depth idea of what it takes to be an author. Most people don't know the struggle of what it's like to be an author. Most people never attempt to be an author. Most people have rose-colored glasses. Most people look at authors and say, "I wish I could do that," and it looks so easy. But this is true of almost anything where there's a lot of monetary return. A lot of people say, "I could be a rock star, I could be a pop star, I could be a doctor, I could do all these things," but so many people have such rose-colored glasses, and this movie did a terrible representation of presenting what it's like to be an author. All the writing, all the examples of writing of this fictional author's writing in the movie were cliches. It felt like she was reading from her fan fiction. Again, this is how Hollywood chooses to represent fiction writing. And several times throughout the movie, I went, none of this is real, and it was just so frustrating because again, I was interested with the premise of there's an author, and anything that has an author in it, I'm all about watching, all about checking out. But this movie did the same thing. It let me down like the majority of other films out there about authors, because it's just not real. It's Hollywoodized, rose-colored glasses. And there were so many times when the character would say something and I'd go, "That's not right. That's not true." And then just to touch on another thing that I had that really bugged me about this movie was it felt just too convoluted. There were times when there was a plot twist and I was just, "Oh, of course that makes sense." Yeah, because it's going to be explained away with some convoluted explanation. And this goes back to the idea of overcomplicating your work. If you're trying to shoehorn in some kind of a plot twist just for the sake of a plot twist and it's too over the top, you're going to lose me in terms of my caring about this. There was also, and I honestly feel that this movie wasn't meant to be taken seriously, but I want my fiction, I want my movies, I want my entertainment to have suspense. I want there to be a level of danger, and this movie did not deliver on it. There was a scene when the protagonist just stuck knives into her shoes. Spoilers, by the way. So if you haven't seen this movie, spoilers. Just giving you that as a warning now that I've already spoiled it. But she literally takes like knives and just sticks them to the bottom of her boot, and suddenly she's able to figure skate. And the entire time I'm like, that's not how that works. It's just too implausible for it to actually work. And so if you're thinking about, so if we think about this in terms of fiction, yes, there is the fictive dream that readers need to be able to buy into in order to accept the implausible, to accept that certain things are happening in your story. But when those things become too over the top and become too unbelievable, this can lead to turning off readers. It can lead to people saying, I don't care anymore because it pushes people out of the fictive dream. And this is what this movie did to me. It pushed me out of the fictive dream. I stopped caring towards about a little over halfway through. I stopped caring about the characters. I stopped caring because there was no tension for me. I was just kind of, oh, whatever. Like I didn't care at that point. I wasn't buying into the fictive dream. And this is something that in your own writing, you need to be very wary of how you are getting your reader into the fictive dream and how you are able to keep him or her in the fictive dream. So I just wanted to make a quick video with my initial reaction because when I left the theater, I was very much like, I have a lot of opinions about this movie and it did not deliver for me. If you want to see it, it's fun, yes, but I wasn't able to take any of it very seriously. And it misrepresented what it's like to be an author, misrepresenting what it's like to be a reader, to be a writer. And so the only negative thing that really does is it perpetuates the stereotype. It perpetuates this idea that writing is easy. It perpetuates the stereotype that anyone can easily become a writer, and that doesn't take any effort, that you can easily publish 5 books in 4 years or whatever it was that was listed in the movie. And so with that, thank you so much for watching, and as always, keep it spooky.
And now we must return to the shadows.